Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As you already know, this is your U.S. General. 5-drawer tool cart with side tray and deep compartment. Today is Friday, as you can see. We just now making it back over to the storage unit, getting back to it, getting busy as always. I hope everybody's enjoying the beautiful weather that we have in today, keeping it a safe and a blessed one as always. Okay. In today's segment video presentation is going to be more of an informative and educational video, just as well as it will also be a response to some of the subscribers and viewers questions that has been asked as of recently on quite a few videos that I have put out, just as well as some past videos that I have put out. Okay. Just real quick, I'd like to give a shout out, to the subscribers and the viewers that are looking in on the channel from the United Kingdom, just as well as Canada. Okay. But I ain't gonna hold you up too much more longer in the introductory of things. But as I always state, as usual, I always keep my signature lingering somewhere in the background. My Dunkin' Donuts coffee. You already know. Okay, so pretty much I'm about to get quite a few things out to the tool cart. Just now as I'm coming in, I'm just making my way over from the bank. So I want to take a look at something real quick, and then we're going to dive right into the tool discussion of the day. Let's get it. Okay, if you watch my content and you watch my videos, you would know just as well is that I give tool demonstration and modification videos and tool hauls and tool cart review videos and things like that of that nature. There are other things that I'm technically into. So as I was out and about a little while ago, I just happened to stop at my bank because, I do a little silver stacking and just as well as coin rolling. And also, searching for star notes and things like that when it comes to our paper fiat currency. So as I was stepping into the bank, I was, looking to pick up, some junk silver, some of our 40% and 90% silver coins at face value and things like that. So this is what little bit I was fortunate enough to, to just pick up from the bank. But in the process of me doing that, I did pick up different denominationals of bills, okay, between 20s, hundreds, and a set of ones. So what I want to show real quick, all right, is how I came across these star notes within the dollar bill singles, okay, just as well as this $100 bill. All right. There's plenty of content out on the YouTube platform that is more informative in these areas if you would like to take a look into getting a deeper understanding of what the star notes and different denominational bills are. Just as well as I did just come across this 1974 dollar bill here. All right, just as well as I also received a couple of uncirculated fresh cut bills, and you can see the serial numbers, okay, how they align back to back. All right. So, I'm just stepping in from the bank just now, just receiving this. If you are not too educated in this area, I will show you real quick on one of my tablets, how to look up your star notes to see the rarity and how rare, you may testically have a bill that's in your pocket that is more of value than just its normal face value. Okay. All right. So as I'm over here at the tablet now, when you want to take a look at your star notes, you can Google star note lookup, okay? And you can see your denomination and what year the bill was pressed, and just as well as your serial number, okay? So I want you to take a good look at this particular star note and the serial numbers. This date is 2009 here, okay? Okay, so the information that is coming from off of the $100 bill, you can see it logged in now. Okay, and then when you go into this screen, now it will show you. Okay, so this is basically showing that that this $100 bill is more rarer than its face value. Okay, the indication of this bar over here, and it will show you down here that this was a second run size of notes. Okay, it also shows where it was printed at. Okay, and the year. So, when you're looking into things like that and you want to have a deeper understanding of your currency, just Google Star Note Lookup. All right. Now we're going to move along and we're going to jump into the topic of the day. So let's get it. All right, at the prior moment, now you can see I have more than quite a few things out. But before I begin to, start with the demonstration and the topic, I would like to answer some of the viewers and subscribers' questions when it comes to the tablet holders and the mounts that I basically have connected to the U.S. General 5-drawer tool cart when it came to the modifications, just as well as the hammer holders that you see connected to the subframes of the front. As of recently on quite a few videos, just as well as the modification video, I have been asked about those items and, where that they can locate them and things like that of that nature. When it comes to the hammer holders, these were items that was purchased off eBay. There wasn't no specific name for them when I received them. They came in like a clear packaging. There was an independent seller on eBay who was distributing them, and when they had them listed, they only had but so many of them listed. I think that they technically sold out of them. So, that's just to answer that particular question. But, there probably are other makes out there. Just unfortunately, when these were sent to me, they didn't come in a particular manufacturer packaging. They came in like some clear type cases. But when it comes to the tablet holders, okay, and some of those modification videos, as I was receiving some of these items before I did the modification, I was enlisting a lot of the merchandise in the videos as I was unpackaging things, to give the viewers, a good idea and description as far as where they can locate some of these things, just as well as I was obtaining them. When it comes to the tablet holders, they are made by a company called Charger City. Okay, so for the individuals out there, who ask, how to locate them and things like that, they do have a website. As you can see here, please contact at www.chargercity.com. All right, I'm not sponsored by any tool brand or any tool company, nor is this channel monetized or anything like that. Anytime I give any piece of content to the viewers, I do it on my spare time, and I'm doing it basically with my own personal equipment. All right, so that's pretty much about that. All right. In the past, I have put out more than quite a few videos on these particular wrench sets. All right. In so many different videos, but just a few days ago, I just happened to get a message from one of my viewers and subscribers that I actually communicate with outside of the YouTube platform, that I converse with every once in a while. We message one another and things like that. And the gentleman, my man Randy, he just happened to ask me. He stated that he went down to, I guess, his local Harbor Freight, and he purchased a particular set of wrenches between SAE standard and metric. So what he just happened to ask me is that, the sets that he purchased was incomplete, and in his ASAE set, he was missing 11/32 seconds, and in the metric, he was missing a 8mm, a 9mm, a 16mm, and an 18mm. Okay, he wanted to know in the metric sizes, was it more common? The thing is that with most technicians and most mechanics, it's more enough dependent upon what they work on. Very consistently will depend upon, what type of measurements that they technically use. When it comes to those particular metric sizes in 8mm, 9mm, 16mm, and 18mm are standard sizes that when I would be working in a shop, which I worked on a lot of different variety and assortment of vehicles, that yes, those metric sizes was very common. When it came to I think he also asked me about a 6 millimeter. I know to, using 6 millimeters on certain battery terminals, depending upon the make, model, in the vehicle. Okay, but he wanted to know also about the 1132 seconds, and I had to, explain to him that the 1132 seconds, it sits in a soft spot between a 8 millimeter and a 9 millimeter. So, an 1132 seconds in the ASAE set, as you can see here, is a metric set. Okay, so your 1132 seconds is here. All right. Now the thing is that what I was explaining to him is that I don't really have too much prior knowledge of Harbor Freight tools. I'm not shooting down, their store or their brands of tools, whether it's the Pittsburgh brand or the Icon brand. Just unfortunately, I never used any of their tools, so I'm not gonna say yay or nay or anything like that. I'm not opinionated on that particular area. But what I did suggest to him is that, if anything, you would want to get yourself, a full complete set. Okay, so I did send him out a link, and he was interested in some sets that I technically had that he came across in some prior videos. So I have been asked as of recently from a couple of subscribers and viewers. I think that they're just now getting their feet wet into the field, and they've been asking some questions about, some equipment and things like that. So, and my suggestion, when you're taking a look at wrenches, when it comes to the tool truck brands, just so to say, like Snap-on, as you can see towards the back here, I do have the 0 degrees double boxing offsets. These are the high performance. The part number is XDHFM 606. As you can see, this is a 6-piece metric high performance 0 degrees offset box wrench set. The thing that I want to explain to him is that, when you start moving into some of the tool truck brands, when it comes to wrench sets, there are a lot of different sets out there. If you do not do your due diligence and your research, you could wind up purchasing a particular set that lacks sizes that you may testically need that are very common. So the thing was like with some of these brand stores, just as well as I believe a Harbor Freight of Pittsburgh, when it's selling you sets that are incomplete, they have the individual wrenches, but they wind up making more money, in those areas by giving you less wrenches, thinking that you will come back to the store and pick up, the individuals, which in all actuality, you wind up spending a whole lot much more, where to the point where you could have at least got a more reasonable full set or more decent quality. There's a lot of different brands out there when it comes to wrenches and things like that. So in my suggestion, I would take a look at brands like Tekton, Capri, SK, Gear Wrench, Sunex, Blue Point, and things like that. That's more budget friendly, especially if you do not wrench professionally and things like that of that nature, because some of this equipment can become quite expensive. As you can see that I have sitting at the top of the tool cart, these are your Milwaukee Max Bite sets, okay, which are complete sets. Here's your metric set, right, and it runs from 8 millimeter all the way to 22 millimeter with absolutely no skips. Okay, these are combination open ends with the max bite features, just as well as you can see here is the SAE set, and it runs from 1 inch all the way to a quarter. All right, so these particular sets are good sets to have because they absolutely have no skips. When I first obtained these wrenches, they were new releases, so back then when I did obtain them, they were a little expensive. I think that there's sales and things like that on them now, so people can basically pick them up for roughly about $100. Back when I purchased them, they were a whole lot much more expensive and things like that. Okay, just as well as you can see over here, all right, which is your normal standard ratcheting wrenches by Milwaukee, and this is your SAE standard set, and this is your metric set here. What you're taking a look at back here is your Mac Precision Torques. Okay, this is the metric set, and this is the ASAE set. All right, these are flex head testically compared to your regular standard, because there is a difference if you do not wrench professionally, okay, and you are taking a look in on these videos, and you're looking for information, you're looking to obtain knowledge as far as what some of this equipment is, and what's the best bang for your buck and things like that. In this particular video, I do have quite a few tool truck brand quality tools on top of the tool cart, just as well as I have quite a few off brands to take a look at. All right, and there's different type of wrenches, so I'm going to point that out, give you a little demonstration of that in your selection. As you can see over here, all right, these are your high performance snap-on double flex head ratchet and wrenches, okay. The part number for this set here is XFM 705, all right. And the set that you are taking a look at here is your 0 degrees offset double box ends. These are by Genius Professional. Okay, this brand right here is a least inexpensive brand. These wrenches will roughly run you about $100, okay, testically compared to a set that is like this, which is the snap-on set, okay. The size measurements is a little bit different also when it comes to this particular set, just as well as this set here, all right. And my suggestion when it comes to your long double flex head ratchet and wrenches, depending upon one's budget and depending upon what type of work that you do, if you work professionally in the field, it's always dependent upon one's budget and what's the best bang for their buck, okay. If you do not wrench professionally, this is a particular item right here that I definitely do not suggest that you take a look into. There are other cheaper brands out there, just as well as some of the names that I stated, okay, even with enlisting like Monster, Easy Red, and there's quite a few other brands that make these particular wrenches right here, because this set is very, very expensive. This set I think runs between $520, $530, okay, before taxes. So this is a little over $100 for each particular wrench, okay. So this is the difference between tool truck brand quality equipment and then having some off-brand quality equipment, because just like I stated, one of these wrenches is the price range of this whole particular set. So this also goes back into my last particular video where I was demonstrating and showing some of the torque bit sets, because in that last previous video there was couple of questions asked here and there also. And in that particular video, when I was showing the torque sets by Snap-on compared to the Craftsman sets, there were torque sets that run more than $400. There was a set that was out on display that ran at $440, okay, and this was before taxes and shipping fees. If you technically do not have a tool truck dealer and you have to purchase from corporate, so when you have to purchase from corporate, now you have to worry about that shipping and the tax fees depending upon your state and the location and things like that, okay. When it comes to individuals just getting into the field, my suggestion is just that you get around technicians that have more experience than you, that already have their tool equipment up. And if I was you, I would ask questions, tell them to let you take a look at what they have, and depending upon what type of work that you're about to encounter and what type of function that you will have at your work site will depend upon what you may need at a particular time. I don't suggest that if a tool truck just shows up at your shop, and you just get on the tool truck and just start browsing, running around looking to purchase things that you may not technically need at that very prior moment. Some of your older technicians can help you, just as well as they can point out certain things to you where that you may not need at the prior moment, but as you go along and as you move up and become more efficient in your job, then at some particular point in time that you will want to step up your grade of tools and things like that of that nature, okay. But as you can see here at the top of the tool cart, there are different type of wrenches. So like I said, these are your combination open ends. These have the max bite feature. You have snap-on wrenches that have somewhat of that same like flink drive type feature just as well. Carlisle makes them. There's quite a few other brands out there. Okay. Um, Same thing, with these snap-ons. There's different degrees of these double box ends. You have 0 degrees, you have 15 degrees, and things like that. You have SAE standard. This is a metric set, as you can see over here. So everything that you are taking a look at that is enlisted along the top, and your black is metric, your red is SAE standard. So the same thing goes for here. But when it comes to the Mac Precision Talks, okay, this is your metric set, this is your ASCE set. These particular set and snap-on wrenches are metric just as well as the Genius Professional. The Genius Professional provides these wrenches in ASCE standard also, just as well as Snap-on provides this set in ASCE standard also, with the exception that it's not 5 wrenches. I believe that it's 4 wrenches, okay? But once again, these sets are very expensive. The SAE standard set is slightly a little over $400, if not $400 even, okay? All right, so pretty much, if you're just now getting your feet wet, coming into the field of, automotive service and things like that, like I stated, I suggest that you, depending upon your budget, don't get out there and just be purchasing anything, because you don't want to, be spending backwards, and you're out there purchasing things that you may not technically need. You can, cut corners here and there when it comes to certain particular off-brand equipment. I suggest that, don't dive into the tool trucks. Get what you can afford, make some money first, and as you go along, then you start stepping up your grade, okay? But when you do take a look at some of the equipment that you may possibly be interested in, always do your due diligence first, do your research, ask questions and things like that in that nature. And when you are, in certain particular places taking a look at equipment, take a look at the measurements to make sure that there's no skips, whether it's wrenches or sockets, okay? All right, so once again, shout out to the viewers and the subscribers out there in Canada and the United Kingdom that's, looking in on the channel, all right? The YouTube analytics, it basically shows me that there's 14% of the viewers subscribed to my channel, and that is 85.2% not subscribed. I do get quite a few views on, certain particular videos. On my modification video, it is doing kind of well. It's almost making and reaching roughly about close to 7,000 views, slightly underneath 7,000 views, but it's gaining views, very quick as the days go by and things like that. So, if you like content like this, like, subscribe, comment, and things like that of that nature, okay? And real briefly, just to give you the item description numbers for the Milwaukee wrenches, as you can see, which is lifetime guaranteed. The SAE set is 48-22-9415, and the metric is 48-22-915. All right. Once again, I'm not sponsored by any tool brand or tool truck and things like that. You understand what I'm saying? If you go into the history of my videos, a lot of this equipment was always put in tool reviews and things like that as I was obtaining it. So that none of this stuff is new and nothing is not given to me. I did work in a professional settings in a professional shop 6 days a week. All right. So